Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings on a Tuesday early afternoon. I'm here to bring you a special report that I think is very, very important and perhaps present you with a possible solution. I want to tell you that we are it's not coming, we're in a financial storm. I grew up in I was born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s, 70s. Those were the days where people went, worked a job, stayed there, um, had a pension plan, i.e., my parents, so forth and so on. So much has changed in the last 40 to 50 years, 60 years really. So what we're seeing today financially is not things that are just happening now. It's a storm that's been brewing for about 50 years in the making. And when there's a natural storm, we get hurricanes here in Florida, there are tornadoes. Usually, what happens is the energy of the storm burns itself out, or it expends itself until it can exist no more. Eventually, the hurricane goes away, or the tornado lifts back up and goes away. We are in a financial storm that I don't see any end to. And I want to talk to you about the reality of that today, because I think with all of the distractions and all the things that are going on, we're not getting a straight story. And I want to bring you some really, really important information. And so I appreciate you tuning in today. I'm going to just kind of enlarge the screen. And so that's really where we are. I wrote a book several years ago. In fact, let me go back to the to a larger screen, and I can maybe show it to you. I published this, wrote it in 2005, published it in 2006, and I warned of a coming economic storm and what needed to be done and steps that should be taken. Some of you may have purchased it, you may remember that. Uh, I'll get back to where I was. But here's why I say that we are in a storm. Number one, you've got inflation. Um, Inflation, there's no end to it. I mean, things are going up. We joke about it. I remember when you could take a dime, go down to the corner store, and come back with a bag of stuff, candy, rock and rolls, those things, and still had change left. I kid you not. Maybe not a dime, maybe a quarter, but that was the case. Today, inflation is just eroding everything. And so that's a big problem for those who earn wages and are trying to make it. The national economy. Um, we've got our budget isn't balanced. So, two things that are going on that you couldn't get away with in your home, you cannot spend more than what you're making. We're doing that. And then you can't just keep going in debt, going in debt, going in debt without a plan to pay it back. We're doing that. And so our nation, because we're so large and more people are expecting the government to do things today. Listen, nationally, we're in trouble, and you need to understand that. Okay, and people. Well, anyway, I'll just keep moving. The world economy. Things have changed to the point that there's a rippling effect when something happens in one area of the world because of the internet and the business relations. It impacts the whole world. So when there's a risk in some far country, the results and the effects of that can come back home um, to us, and what we do affect people around the world. Um, the, there are disasters, and I don't need to rehearse the news that are going on that's going on, but you got the climate change, you got the hurricanes, you've got tsunamis, you've got earthquakes, and you've got floods in places it's never been. It's just going on and on. And all of this is put pressure on the insurance companies. And here in Florida, we got a crisis going on because a lot of the insurers are pulling out of the state, with many homeowners being in the guaranteed insurance. Wars. Um, there was Ukraine, which has been pretty tough, and these are allies of the United States. And then now we got Israel in a war, and there are other wars just all over the place. People fighting, costing lives. The budget to make weapons of destruction extend beyond some food, for a lot of places, and other vital necessities. And so the world, we got wars that are going on. All that infects the economy, affects. There's a spread of misinformation. People get half the story, get angry, go off half cocked, and we've seen that in our country. And I'll give you a simple example, one that you probably wouldn't think about. Not long ago, the lottery was about, I guess, $1.5 billion. And so everybody's talking about winning, the newscasters, people all around buying their tickets and hoping that they get the windfall. And it's really not a windfall, because what they don't tell you regarding the lottery is they don't give you the amount of your money, if you play it, that you put in there to create the 1.5 billion. I don't know if it's 8 billion, 10, 20, but we get one, they dangle a carrot, and everybody's taking money going for it, ignoring what's being put in that could have been invested in something legitimate. There's the erosion of the dollar, friends. Um, by that I mean, the more dollars that are being made, the more money that's created. It actually debases the money that's in your account, the money in your 401k. It's really a tough thing to deal with. But we're seeing that today, the erosion of the dollar, of what you could buy with a dollar, and I said that on the front end, pales in comparison to what it was in the past, and we don't know what it's going to be like in the foreseeable future as well. Okay, that's a challenge. That is a problem. Erosion of the dollar. There's a decay in moral consciousness, in my opinion. What I've seen, the way people drive, the way they live, and you got to understand, when you see police presence investigating. I went to high school in 1976. I'll date myself. It's okay. I don't think I saw two police officers at the school in a given year for a call. Now you got officers who have to have a post and a command post at the school because it's so dangerous for the teachers. It's just really crazy. All the things that are going on. Listen, every time you see a police investigating and things that are going on, and they have to go in a home to get a child whose parents can't handle them, that's taxpayer money. All that's coming out of our income, and we have to fund all of that stuff. We don't think about that. The other thing here, let me just say here, because I'll get off of this in a moment. We get to a solution. There are zero solutions on the horizon. The financial gurus are telling you to budget better and all of those things. I'm going to show you why that doesn't work in terms of as a main strategy. I'll show you why, but there are no solutions. We're passing out band-aids to the problem. When I grew up, and even with my children, we bought our children book bags, and we paid for their lunches and things like that. We've hit a place where not only can people not afford to buy their children book bags, but they expect the government or the church or some nonprofit to take care of them. That is very dangerous. We always need to make room for those who are going through difficult times and be compassionate and be helpful. But when people get comfortable relying on someone else, we're in a dangerous place. Okay. And lastly, is the lack of personal preparation of citizens. I think we are ill prepared for what's going to come in the next few years and the next few decades. We're here now. We are literally in a storm. So, that being said, let me go over a couple of things because that's really me just presenting uh, to you what I wanted to share. Let's see. Uh, get my mouse unstuck here. Okay, I'm going to go to another slide. I'm going to talk about a few things. The next thing I want to talk about the nemesis to financial success. A nemesis is really an enemy, and here it is. I'm just going to be lay it out straight. You see, I got highlighted in the screen expenses. The nemesis is the fact that retrenchment, which means cutting back, cannot work because you can't control expenses. When gas goes up to $4 a gallon or 3.80, you may whine and complain, but if you drive and you pull up to the pump, put your gas in and keep going. When you go to the grocery store, you can't negotiate the cost of chicken or the cost of vegetables or organic vegetables. You just have to pay. You can't control that. Where we are with insurance going up and other things, you just have to pay. You cannot control that. Yet the nemesis is 100% of our attention is focused on expenses. That's a big, big problem. Okay, let me shift quickly to the solution. I'm not going to keep you much longer. The solution is to shift, and you see I got income highlighted in the screen. We have to shift our focus to what we can control, and what we can control is our income. You can't necessarily negotiate a lot of things, electric bill, those things, but what you can do is shift your focus to your income. Might I tell you that your earning potential has no limits. There is no ceiling on what you can make. In fact, the only ceiling on what you can make is what's imposed by yourself. The fact that you're thinking, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm working, I'm not getting enough raises, I'm just stuck. Okay. But I want to tell you that whoever you are, wherever you are, there is no ceiling on. You could go from $50,000 a year to 100 to 200. There is no ceiling except what's self-imposed. Your income depends upon you and what you do. You can control that. Whoever told us that you go to work and you get a job, get out of college, get a job, and the employer will take care of you, it's just not true. Employers are taking care of themselves. In fact, I don't care whether you got to go watch how long you've been where you've been. Listen, the moment they don't need you, the moment there's a way, we got artificial intelligence coming up. If that can replace you, you're gone. No matter how much you love the job and how many people you think love you, you're out because they're profit driven. Your income, this is what I want to drive home here, is your responsibility. Okay? Now, that's a solution. Now, here's the dilemma. Dilemma. Why don't we just make more? Why don't we just go and do it? Why don't we just, if that is the case, why haven't you gone from 50 to $100,000 or whatever it is that your goals would be? The problem is I got a big red question mark there. We don't know what to do. We have no idea what to do. We're not taught that. All of our training, for the most part, is to prepare you to go get a job. We're not taught how to go recognize and create opportunities. But the problem is we just don't know what to do. And so many are have consigned themselves to just not do anything, either do without, struggle, dodge the bill collectors, what have you. Many do that. Others are fatigued with trying so many things that haven't worked. If you put in income opportunities, you're going to get internet marketing, things that pop up. A lot of people got stuff that they want you to get involved with. um Network marketing. I said internet. Network marketing can be good if you're providing a good product, but usually what they want is your network. They want your relationships, your friends, your family. That's what they're after. And so you bring that to the table. But what you don't realize, that the most valuable thing you have right now is your network. That's not something you want to just offer on the table and give away to make a few dollars. But people try to I know people that have been involved in all kind of things. Okay. So many are fatigued. So let me get to the opportunity. Now I'm going to wrap this up in just a couple of minutes. I've got an opportunity that's designed that I will design specifically for you. And I'm calling this um the it incorporates strategy, but I've created a service, a multiple streams of income assessment tool. I've been involved in consulting for 30, 35 years, helping people open up streams of income and do other things. But strategy involves figuring out what you should do, how to do it, when to do it, why you're doing it, and then how you're going to really execute it. The use of strategy. People build wealth because of strategy. And so, one of the things that I do in my assessment tool is I look at you, I look at your talents and your gifts, I look at your passions, your desires, I look at your goals, I look at your opportunities that are around you, and I make you recommendations based on what's going to be least expensive, what you're going to really be good at based on your personal gifting and ability and talents, and what is likely to be able to be offered for an exchange of consideration. Um, I'll give you a quick story. Client, elderly person who's in great shape. This is before the days of Uber. This is really funny. Would go and just carry her friends around to doctor's appointments because she felt good. She could drive. She was, up in her 70s. And ultimately, what she did was she got so busy, she hired a driver. And then she hired two drivers. Then she hired three who went around and took people around. And what she wound up doing was owning a business based on her compassion to help people and to reach out to people. And she did well, sold a business for quite a sum of money, was comfortable in retirement. Um, but that was a strategy. So let me also say this. You say, well, Roger, I don't think I have any opportunities. I'm working all the hours I can. Listen, been there, done that. I was attending two colleges. I pastored a church, worked in financial services, was an author writing, did business consulting. I mean, there were just several things, but I learned some things in that process of about business and about strategy. And so you can no longer afford to just have a paycheck that it can be gone so quick. That job can be gone so quick. You ought to begin to work on two or three sources and ultimately make them streams of income. And so my assessment too is I'll work with you. We'll lay some things out. Won't take very long. I can do this in a week or two and give you a track that you can get started on that's designed for you to help you get out and begin to explore opportunities. Listen, I've never met a person, I've never encountered a person that I had to deal with who had no opportunities. If you think you've got no opportunities, you need to reach out to me. If you look on the bottom of the screen, you can text me. Feel free to text me at 407. This is a dedicated line for this project. 407 627 9419. It's going across the screen. 407 627 9419. Or you can email me at rogerckelly@live.com. Again, that's going across the screen. If you do that, I'll get back with you. We'll arrange a time that we can connect and get the ball rolling. But I really believe that there's potential around you right now that perhaps you haven't seen. And so reach out to me, and we have to take matters in our own hands on this economic issue. What you don't do for yourself and for your family and for your future will not get done. People are going to be on the streets hungry in America. People are going to be, I mean, in mass. What you've seen in a lot of countries is coming to the States. I believe you and I not only need to be able to take care of our own, but we need to be able to put our hearts together, create some foundations, and help others who really need help. I appreciate you listening today. Um, you got any questions, thoughts, but please reach out to me. Let's schedule a consultation, and let's do something that's proven that can work for you. You have a good day, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.